Hi, I'm Justin. Welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson, you can learn about using the.
What language do you speak? If your language has a word like the, then the isn't too difficult. There are some small differences, but you don't have to think about it too much. However, if you speak a language which doesn't have a word like the, then learning how to use the is a nightmare.
This lesson is made more for people whose native language doesn't have a word like the, although we hope that speakers of all languages will find it helpful. Learning about articles and the is the only grammar topic I've seen which regularly makes students angry. Anytime I have to teach someone about articles, I know that they're going to go through an angry stage. Why is this?
It's because there are hundreds of rules about using the. Every rule has exceptions. Of course, it's English. Sometimes the rules overlap and you don't know which one to use. We're not going to try to cover all of the rules in this class. If you really want a headache, you can find a grammar book and try to read and learn all of them. Instead of giving you rules which you can read in a grammar book, we're going to give you some practical tips that we've used with students and which work.
You'll see 6 tips and 1 simple technique you can use in your written English. These tips and tricks are easy to remember and use. You won't need to study for hours to memorize lots of complex rules. Watch the video to the end and you can start using these ideas today. Let's start with a general question. What does the mean?
Have you ever thought about this? What does the mean? What does it do? If I say to you, show me the book, what does the mean? Why do I say the book and not a book? The in this sentence shows that you, the listener, know which book I'm talking about. It shows that I'm talking about a specific book, and I know you know which one I mean.
That's what the means. It shows that you're talking about something specific. You can think of the as a pointing word, like this or that. When you use the before a noun, you're pointing to a specific thing and saying, that one. So that's the basic meaning of the. Keep this in mind, because it's useful to remember these basic points if things get confusing. Let's see how you can use these ideas.
Let's start with some examples. Can you open the window, please? Is that the woman you were telling me about? The Taj Mahal is really worth going to see. When you look at these sentences, they look completely different, right? But there is a connection. Can you see the connection? Think about why you use the in these sentences.
If I'm talking to you in all of these 3 situations, you know which one I mean. For example, if you say, can you open the window, please? Then we're in the same room, and it will be obvious which window you mean. Sure, there are many windows in the world, but if we're in the same room, then we know which window you're talking about.
You can see the same idea in these sentences. Where's the bathroom? I'm going to the shop. In both of these cases, we use the because it's obvious which one you mean. If you're at someone's house and you ask, where's the bathroom? We know which bathroom you mean, the bathroom in the house where you are. If you say, I'm going to the shop, again, you mean that whoever you're talking to will understand which shop you mean. Probably you mean the local shop, one you go to often.
Let's look at our second sentence. If I ask you, is that the woman you were telling me about? You know who I mean. But here, the reason is different. You know who I mean because we were talking about her before. You were telling me about her. So, this is our second idea. You can use the if the person you're talking to will remember which one you mean. Here are a couple more examples of this. What did you think of the film? Do you remember the hotel we stayed at in Berlin?
In both of these examples, you're referring to some kind of shared experience. What did you think of the film? Why do you use the? because you're either talking about a film we saw together or a film we've talked about before. Either way, when you ask this, you use the because the person you're talking to will know which film you mean. Do you remember the hotel we stayed at in Berlin? We both stayed at the same hotel, so you know which hotel I mean.
Okay, let's come back to our third original sentence. If you say, the Taj Mahal is really worth going to see, why do you use the? It's because there's only one Taj Mahal. We know which one you mean because there's only one. Let's see some more examples of this idea. The moon was so beautiful tonight. It was the happiest day of my life.
In both of these examples, you use the because you're talking about one of something. The person you're talking to will know which one you mean, because the thing you're talking about is unique. The Earth only has one moon, so we say the moon. You can have many happy days in your life, but only one can be the happiest, so you say the happiest day of my life. So, you've seen 3 important ideas about using the in this section. Use the for things around you, where it's obvious which thing you mean. Use the to refer to shared experiences, things you've talked about before or done together. Use the when something is unique. These are practical, general ideas which will help you to use the correctly in English. Next, let's look at another simple rule that can help you.
Here's a good rule you can use, especially in your written English. If a noun is singular and countable, it needs some kind of determiner. A singular countable noun can't stand by itself. Okay, this isn't specifically about using the, because a determiner could be something else. Maybe a, or this, or that, or something else. But it's often helpful if you're trying to decide whether to use the or not. Let's look at an example. Manager told us more about plan for New Year's party. Maybe you can already see that this sentence doesn't look right. Let's apply our rule. Can you remember it?
If a noun is singular and countable, then it needs some kind of determiner, like the, this, that, and so on. So let's look at our sentence. How many nouns are there? The first noun is manager. Is this singular? Yes. Is it countable? Let's see. 1 manager, 2 managers, 3 managers. Yes, it's countable. So it needs a determiner. It can't stand by itself. Probably, whoever says this sentence knows which manager they're talking about. That means we can use the.
What about plan? Is it singular? Is it countable? Yes and yes. So again, it can't stay like this. Here, we say that the manager told us more. That means you already knew something about this plan. That means you can use the. You know which plan the manager is talking about.
What about New Year's party? Is it singular? Is it countable? Yes and yes. So you need something. How many New Year's parties can there be each year? I mean, technically you could have more than one, but generally one company will just have one New Year's party. If there's just one, then you know which one the manager is talking about. So again, you can use the. The manager told us more about the plan for the New Year's party.
Let's do one more example. Government should do more to help elderly people. Think about this sentence. Where are the nouns? Do they need determiners or articles? Let's use our test. The first noun is government. Is it singular? Yes. Is it countable? 1 government, 2 governments? Yeah, it is. So it needs a determiner. Should we use the or something else? There are many governments in the world, but whenever you talk about the government, you mean the government in your country. So, it's clear which government you mean. That means you can use the.
There's one more noun, elderly people. Is it singular? No, so it doesn't need a determiner. It can stand by itself. However, just because it doesn't need one doesn't mean it shouldn't have one. You still need to think. Should you say, the elderly people? Here, you're talking about elderly people in general. When you talk about things in general, you don't use the. So the sentence is now correct. The government should do more to help elderly people.
The test that you've seen in this section isn't a magic spell. You still need to think about where to use the or not. However, it's simple and it does help. Use this in your written English and you will make fewer mistakes with the. Trust me, we've seen this work for many students. Okay, so now you've seen some simple but important ideas to help you decide when to use the. But part of using the correctly is knowing when not to use the. So, let's talk about that.
We just mentioned one case where you shouldn't use the. Do you remember? Don't use the if you're talking about things in general. For example, Greek food is both healthy and tasty. You're talking about all Greek food in general. I hate shopping for clothes. I hate shopping for all clothes all the time. I'm not talking about some specific clothes. Football is more popular than basketball in most countries. Again, everything here is general. You're talking about football in general, basketball in general, and countries in general. Nothing is specific here.
So that's your first important rule. Don't use the if you're talking about things in general. This is a really solid rule. It works well, so you should definitely remember it. There's another useful point here. Don't use the with most names. When we say names, we mean nouns that you'd write with a capital letter. This works most of the time. There are a lot of exceptions, but if you remember, don't use the with names, you'll be right more often than not. Obviously, if you know the detailed rules, then that's better. However, if you're in a situation where you don't know whether to use the or not, then use this rule. It works most of the time.
So this means don't use the with people's names. I met Jamie. Don't use the with names of cities or countries. Stockholm is the capital of Sweden. Don't use the with names of streets or other city features. Queen's Park is near Broad Street. Don't use the with the names of schools, companies, universities, or other institutions. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard to start Microsoft.
I know what some of you are thinking. What about the United States? What about the Hilton? What about... Yes, of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions to everything. That's not the point. Remember what we are trying to do here. This is a simple trick that you can carry in your head and which is easy to use. It will work most of the time.
There's one more simple tip here. Don't use the with another determiner. Determiners include this, that, these, those, possessive adjectives like my, your, his, her, as well as quantifiers like many, much, a lot of, each, every, and so on. So you can't use the in examples like, I like this one more than that one. Is this your bag or is it hers? I want to spend lots of time with every person here.
Okay, quick review. Don't use the if you're talking about things in general. Don't use the with most names, but remember, there are many exceptions to this. Don't use the with another determiner.
From this lesson, you've got 6 rules. 3 rules about when to use the, and 3 rules about when not to use the. You also saw a simple test to check if a noun needs an article or not. Is the noun singular? Is it countable? If yes and yes, it needs a determiner, possibly the.
If you find it difficult to use the correctly, take these 6 rules and this test and try using them. We hope these tips are simple enough that you can remember them and start using them right now.
If you do, you will use the more accurately and you will make fewer mistakes. Remember, these tips have helped many of our students and they can help you too. Also, if you want more practice, check out the full version of this lesson on our website, oxfordonlineenglish.com. There's also a quiz to help you practice using the. Thanks for watching.